Hey there, sinners. Welcome back. You're not going to believe this one. Trust me, I'm having a problem believing it. So it looks like smoking weed can get you out of a jam, especially if you're experiencing marijuana-fueled psychosis and have no control over your actions. At worst, you'll get sentenced to probation and community service, which sure beats the hell out of doing hard time in prison. You gotta admit that, right? So according to sources, Chad O'Melia, a 26-year-old male, is dead, and the woman responsible for his death was sentenced to probation and community service hours. You believe that? Yes, indeed, you've heard me correctly. She was sentenced to probation and community service hours. Obviously, his friends and family are grieving his death. But it's a little hard to deal with considering the verdict and sentence of the guilty party. When they heard the verdict, they felt the system had completely failed their son Chad and their family. The judge didn't do his job. He didn't do what he was responsible to do. He went against the recommendation of the district attorney. He went against the recommendation of the probation officer. And the community found her guilty. So he obviously didn't respect the community's decision either, said Chad's father, Sean. The judge presiding over the case ruled 33-year-old audiologist Bryn Spejcher had fallen into a marijuana-fueled psychosis and had no control over her actions when she stabbed 26-year-old Chad 108 times. Oh, really? So, what about all the drunk drivers that do not have any control over their actions? It's a fair question, right? Do they get a get out of jail card also? Spejcher was smoking marijuana with Chad at his apartment before she attacked him. According to a source, they both took several rips from a bong loaded with marijuana. Sounds like two friends relaxing, having a puff, enjoying the day. Spejcher had an adverse reaction to the marijuana and suffered from what experts call cannabis-induced psychotic disorder. The judge defending his decision to spare Spejcher from prison time. From that point on forward, she had no control over her actions, he said. How would he know? Adverse reactions? Really? Fatally stabbing someone over 100 times is not an adverse reaction. Extreme coughing, watery red eyes, hysterical laughter. Heck, even a case of munchies are adverse reactions, but not killing someone. You have to admit this, right? The state's mental health expert reportedly determined that as a result, she was unconscious, while she stabbed Chad dozens of times. She was in a psychotic episode, therefore, she couldn't have known it was going to happen or what she was doing. She also stabbed her dog and turned a knife on herself when the police arrived. Well, you gotta make it convincing, right? Jurors found Speicher guilty of involuntary manslaughter in December, but the court ultimately sentenced her to 2 years on probation and 100 hours of community service. You know, there used to be an old saying, crime does not pay. But it would appear that does not apply anymore, right?